I'm currently working on my next horror game called Shadows of Midnight, and I'm currently at a point where I don't really have to write code anymore, except for very specific cases. Like, for example, what if I want to advance to a different scene using this door? Well, I just have to add a custom node, an advance area to the scene tree, which actually inherits from static body and not area 3D. I add a collision shape as its child object and place it on the door. Now, I can drag and drop the scene I want to advance to into the inspector. I can also set a display name which shows when I look at the door. As you can see, now I can advance to the next scene. There's even a door opening sound effect playing. If you want to know how my interaction system works, I've made a tutorial about the subject. But if I don't want to change scenes, only teleport my player to a different scene, I can use a teleport area, which is the same as the advance area, but instead of changing scenes, it teleports the player to a given 3D position. If I want to activate a dialogue after a few seconds, I can use another custom node called Activate Dialogue After Time. I set the timer to 2 seconds, and I create a new dialogic timeline called Tutorial. I also call a method of my global script. I have to do this for my dialogue system to work. It's not important right now. I give the dialogic timeline's name to the custom node, then play the scene. As you can see, the dialogue activates after 2 seconds. There are multiple modes you can use here. You can activate the dialogue on ready after a given time like we just did, or you can activate it if a given object is null or global.x is equal to a given integer. X is just a simple int in my global script. I use it to manage events in the game. I also have a setX method. I can call it in dialogic. So, in this dialogue, let's set x to 1. I'll make another timeline called Tutorial 2. Then I create another Activate Dialogue After Time, but instead of using a timer, we will activate the dialogue if x is 1. We change the state to x, and we set the required x to 1. So after 2 seconds, the first dialogue starts, and now if I press the left mouse button, x will be equal to 1, so the second dialogue will start. I also have a play animation class that can automatically play animations on ready after a given time when something is null or when x is a specific number. If I set it to play on null and I drag the player to the required null field, the animation will only play if the player object doesn't exist anymore. In GDScript, you can make these custom nodes by writing class name and the name of the class, or in C# you do it with global class. As you can see, I set the correct collision layers in code instead of the inspector. Otherwise I'd have to do it manually every time I add one of them to the scene. I also handle the transition in the script, along with loading, instancing, and playing the door audio. This way, I don't have to do these myself. This single script handles all of it. So, the lesson is to write reusable scripts instead of specific ones that are only written to specific scenes. Use custom classes to make your work much easier and more productive. All of the scripts I use in the game are available on my Patreon if you want to try it out yourself. Thank you for watching. Bye!